I know I didn't. Hey, if you got this part of the video, you got the live unedited edition. Home Gadget Geeks, I think is what it is. It's 8 p.m. on the 18th of November, 2021. And if you got this part of the video anytime after that, you've got the recorded version. It's okay. Hang tight. Hang on. We'll get started this morning. I'm not even out of the morning yet, Mike. That's how long my day has been.
You're still stuck in the morning, huh?
I came down here like at 7:30, and the next thing I knew it was like 2:30, and it's like I hadn't even got out of the chair. And I was supposed to go in. We had an in-person meeting that I was supposed to go to today, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to make it. Like, I haven't even left the chair. I don't even know how I'm going to get in the car.
Yeah.
So thank God.
It was one of those days for me too. I got to the office at 6:45 this morning because I had meetings starting at 8:30. I was 8:30 to 5 with a half-hour break for different meetings. I was almost just like, what meeting am I in? What do you need me to talk about? It was just
right on, man.
Days.
It is.
So, yeah, we'll talk about it, but I have an issue that maybe the chat can help me with.
Yeah, hold the issue. You got a beer?
I do.
What do you got?
Good beer.
Okay. Oh, you must have went to the store.
I did.
You better not pull out like a Miller Lite or anything like that.
No,
I will stop this show and come over. Of course,
turn this car around
with a six. Of course, with a new 6-pack.
Yeah, no. So for me, going with the Kincaidor Snow Beast, this is one of my favorite wintertime beers. If you guys, they sell it a lot of places. A little bit dark, but just like almost you could compare it to a holiday cheer just in terms of such good flavor. They sell it in a 4-pack only. I wish they came in a full 6. I get this usually at the bar if we go out during the wintertime. So it's a winter ale, a winter beast of cinnamon and malt, creamy with a sweet aroma. This beer finishes strong with sweet vanilla, which is true. It does. 6.8%. And I love it.
High V?
Is it high V? Comes in like a cardboard box, a little 4-pack.
To give that a try.
Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
Nice.
So I'm gonna crack that open right now.
Yeah, I'm
nice. Bam. There you go.
Yeah, I
so
got
the good holiday
cheer. Yeah. Phil had my oldest came over for dinner tonight, and he had a holiday cheer. I was like, man, dude, these are so good. I still got 3 of them. I had one the other night. He had one. I'm having one now. They don't go as fast. They should go faster. They're so good. Like, I just finished my last Oktoberfest of the year, so that those are gone now. And they're better. The holiday cheer are way better than Oktoberfests. Like, it's a better
for sure.
taste. Yeah.
And I'm like you though. So we got these a few nights ago, and same with the holiday cheer. That's a good pour.
Look at that.
Look at that. I didn't know that's how that looked when you poured a holiday cheer out. I was just drinking straight out of the bottle.
Yeah. Well, get a little air in there, kind of.
Whenever I get holiday cheer Kincaidor, I also at the same time get my 12-pack of Coors because it's so good that I do one of these, and then if I'm feeling another, I save it. I'm like, nope, because this makes it last, and I'll have a Coors instead.
Yeah.
So so this game's in a 4-pack. We got it a few nights ago, so I'm down to this is number 3. I'll have one more, but then I always don't worry, guys.
Keep talking.
I have the Coors Light on reserve, so I still got that around here.
See ya. Bye, Emmy. My granddaughter.
Grandkids in the house.
She's on her way out. Yeah, she
doesn't get to make a guest appearance.
Can you say hi to Mike? Here, you want to see? Come here. You want to see Mike?
Oh, she's so cute. Look at that.
Say hi.
Hi.
All right. Okay. I don't know about this. She's not feeling well. So
do redheads run in the family, Jim?
No, she's blonde.
Oh, she's blonde. It looks a little red.
I think it's the light in here.
Got it. Okay.
But
that's kind of like my boys are both blonde, and you see my hair. You've seen Hannah's hair. It's dark. We don't know where the blonde comes from. Probably the mailman.
Either of you blonde when you were kids?
No. My sister was, but both my parents are, brown hair, dark hair.
No,
it's kind of odd.
It's good beer season.
It is
good beer season. I went out and picked up some. We call it Old Jeff. It's Jefferson's. So I went out and picked up. I had run out of the regular stuff, and it really hasn't gotten caught in the inflation cycle yet. So it's like $30 bucks. Sometimes I can find it for 26 or 27. So, but I went to go find my Old Forester. That's kind of my cigar bourbon of choice. It's just a little bitey and it's good with a cigar. Can't find it. It's like,
Really?
yeah. It's like, hey,
All
wait a
out.
minute. Where did this go? So I'll need to check Ivy. I was just at Baker's, so we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But
Does Baker's have a pretty good selection? We don't have a Baker's close. Well, I guess I have a Baker's
not our
close to me,
Baker's.
but-
The Bellevue Baker's isn't very good, but
Okay.
the Baker's down by 370 and Marcus Theaters, whatever those are down there.
Yeah, yep.
Shadow Ridge. No, I'm mixing things up. Twin Creek, that's the name of it. It's pretty good. The beer and wine guy is pretty good there. He actually, I need to go there more and just bypass. This is the one I go to is right by the house. So we have a really good liquor store right near us too, right on the way. It's right across the street from Baker's. I just need to go there more. That's where I get my 43. They have a good beer selection. They've got a really good liquor selection. So it's kind of one of those things like, I need to stop going to Baker's to buy my liquor. It is a little cheaper sometimes. So, but it's the season. I now have 4 different Jeffersons, which is great. And I've got half a bottle of Blanton's and still a half a bottle of Blanton's up on the shelf, which is pretty great. And so going into the holiday season, I've got some Buffalo Trace cream in the fridge. And every morning I'm like, I open the fridge to grab something. I'm like, oh man, I should put that in my coffee. It's the morning.
Yeah, right.
It's the morning, Jim. Don't do that. Don't.
That sounds. I've been. It's hunting season this week, so all last weekend I was in a stand. Any lighting hour, and even before in the morning, I was in a deer stand. And but man, that's a good idea though. Fill up a little coffee for the morning with some of that cream.
Oh yeah.
Because the hard part is in the morning. You just walk outside and you're frozen, and you're sitting still in a deer stand. And I'm like, oh man, but if I had warmed up with a little coffee and that cream.
I need to get you over here. Well, it's going to be tough now because it's getting cold, but or bring it over there. I smoked a Jose Dominguez Connecticut the other night, and those are even at Two Guys are just $6, and it was delicious. And we
got to go to Safari again. I really enjoyed that Safari place.
Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, we got to get there.
That was fun.
We got to get there with John. So, okay, guys, thanks for coming out. Kind of a shotgun show tonight. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do or we're going to get. I got a few things lined up. I'm sure
I need your help, Chad. There's one thing we'll talk about. I need your help. We're under an issue tonight.
You will lead off with that.
So. And this is the first time, Jim, I have been completely baffled and running of all solutions on something that should be pretty simple.
Yeah, we'll throw that out early. Okay, let me do this thing. This is the Average Guy Network, and you have found Home Gadget Geeks show number 513, recorded on November 18th, 2021. Here on Home Gadget Geeks, we cover all the favorite tech gadgets that find their way into your home. News, reviews, product updates, and conversation, all for the average tech guy. I'm your host, Jim Collison, broadcasting live from the AverageGuy.tv studios here, Mike, where it's like Tuesday night, out on the deck, fire, 70 degrees. It was gorgeous. 35 degrees the next day.
One of my wealth advisors in Arizona has been having a great time because I've had a meeting with him every day this week, and he asked me, so what's the weather like today? And he's like, that is just insane. Because you're right, 70s, 30s, 40s, 70s, mid 60s, 30s again. And it makes it very hard to pack for the hunting weekends because I don't know if I'm going to be freezing. Am I going to be hot in the stand? Got to layer up.
Layers.
Layers. That's the answer.
Yeah, 33 out there right now, which is just a degree above freezing for those in the Celsius category. It's a little chilly. It's not too bad, but certainly winter is on its way. We're getting kind of ready here in the United States. It's Thanksgiving season. It's Black Friday. We're going to talk a little bit about some Black Friday deals coming up, but this is my favorite time of the year. I mean, Tuesday night, called my mom from the deck, enjoyed a cigar, took some Blantons out there with me, lit up the fire pit. I'm still continually amazed I built that thing right. I mean, it not only didn't smoke very much, and I'd thrown some old timbers and stuff in there, stuff I thought would smolder and just not go anywhere. And I came out on Wednesday morning, and dude, it was just ash. Like literally everything had burned. I was like, wow, This is, you come out in the morning sometimes and there's some leftovers.
Yeah.
No, that thing,
Nothing. That's great.
That pit just
I got to come over and
cranked.
see the upgrade.
Yeah,
because
we got to get you over here.
those things are so popular nowadays. Everyone talks about those smokeless pits that you buy, but I haven't seen someone build one, so I need to come over and check it out.
Well, Alex is trying to. Yeah, you should. We'll have to get you over here on a chilly night. Alex says today is our last nice day. 73 yesterday, 77 day. Whatever, Alex. We don't want to hear. No, that's not true. I love jackets and cold weather. And
well, the funny part is we were just in the 70s yesterday, or what? Yesterday or 2 days ago?
Tuesday.
Yeah. Dude, my week is.
I've been
all blurred together.
Out working on a retaining wall. The retaining wall in front of our house is about 30 years old, and it had literally just crushed in on itself. And so pulling the thing apart, it's just dirt. I mean, it looked like wood at some point in time, but it's so rotten on the inside. Just pull it off and it's just dirt, right? And then using those 4-inch half round landscaping timbers, where they're flat on top and flat on the bottom. Have you seen those? Or 8 feet long.
I haven't seen. Oh, yes.
4 foot round.
Yeah.
Landscaping timbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rebuilding with that. Easy to work with. Easy to,
length. I'm sure you could just saw it off.
Yeah, cut them. Yeah. It works with your chop saw, so they're easy to do that. They're like Lincoln logs for adults.
I love Lincoln logs.
Using 7-inch spikes to kind of hold them in place, and 6.5-inch screws where I need them. And it's actually kind of therapeutic, Mike, to put that together. You can kind of shape it and do some planters. I made some new planters up there. We'll put bulbs in there in the spring, and just kind of fun, kind of therapeutic. The weather's been great. Good to get outside. I did on a Black Friday deal. I did pick up a little Black & Decker, drill, battery, and it's $24. It's exactly kind of what I needed for something small, something with a light on it. Didn't need a ton of power. All of my stuff is big. I've got these big industrial kind of.
Well, yeah, you need us to give us an update on the tree trimmer.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about
weeks
that.
Ago.
We'll talk about that towards the end of the show as we do kind of a lawn update. Anyways, Black Friday deals coming up. Big thanks to Brian Flanagan Arthurs, who joined us last week, filled in for Mike in his absence, and so Brian, thanks for coming on. Good to catch up with him. He talked me into using Text Expander, which I did buy.
I still use Text Expander every day at work.
Yeah,
I love it.
I bought it and I regretted it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I got to figure out, just full transparency. I got to figure out a system that works for me.
Yeah.
Just haven't found that out yet. So
it's great for number one, inserting the date. That's like probably the most common. And then number two, those canned responses. If you have at work like a canned response, you typically start out with just a skeleton email that you type the same stuff every time. Mm-hmm. Like people ask me the same 4 questions all the time. And I just have this canned response. I use my shortcut and then I fill in the information I need. But just having that saves so much time for the amount. And so I can imagine the questions you get, right, from a lot of your Gallup people.
They're all the same.
So you could create a shortcut there. And like those are the things where you just once you get in the habit of it, and you could that's where
that's the trick, is getting in the habit of it.
It is
figuring out the right system.
But I love that it syncs to like the phone, your computer. So no matter if I'm answering the question on my phone, if I'm answering the question on my computer, like it syncs across. So that's been huge.
Yeah. Well, Brian, I spent $4 to get a month. I didn't buy the year because I was like, I don't know if this is really going to work for me. There's been some things that lately I've bought. We'll talk a little bit later about them, where you kind of go, man, I am glad I did this. And that one's still out. I tried it once before. It didn't work. After talking with Brian about it, it's like, maybe I'll give it another go. I mean, the Mac, let's just go back to the beginning of the year. The Mac has been the best decision I made all year. Like
I love to hear that. I'm so glad, because I was very concerned that we had finally gotten you on a Mac and you're gonna be like, this is the biggest regret I ever had.
No, not at all. Not, okay, listen, I bought a first gen M1.
Yeah.
It's had a few problems, right?
Well, yeah.
It's blue screen.
That's what I'm expecting with the F-150 Lightning next year. I'm gonna be giving you guys all the updates on the few problems I run into with that thing.
It hasn't been without its problems, but it's been great. I picked up a 34-inch ultra wide. I think it's 34. Could be bigger. 38. I forget now. And I think it's a 38. That has been great. I mean, so that has just been such a great buy this year. So that's one of those things. I bought it on a whim, but it's got me thinking. Maybe I'll next time I'll do the laptop, right? With it. So
right. Yeah, I'm sad to miss you, Brian. I last second like, hey, we need you to come work event this night, go entertain these clients, and so work called. Hannah was the one who only benefited because I brought her home a slice of cheesecake from the restaurant we went to. So I got home, she's like, "Oh,
nice
cheesecake!"
Oh, that's always.
Sometimes you gotta make up for the wife with last second. You say, "Hey, by the way, not gonna be home till 9:45 tonight."
You got to do all the work.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. Hey, speaking of doing all the work, you need some help from the community. Let's get this in at least sort of up front.
Yeah, so it's such a weird issue, and maybe one of you has the answer. And guys, it's been a long time since I've been like completely stumped, and none of my tips or tricks works. So situation real quick was, this week has been extremely stressful. And so I came home, and after a while, probably an hour before the show, I'm like, you know what? I really want to play just some Call of Duty. So fired up Call of Duty. The new Vanguard came out, started playing. I love that game. 2 games in, it just crashed on me. Like, it had been going great. Got 2 full games in. I think it was like the 3rd game, whatever. The game just crashed. I'm like, okay, go to relaunch it. It will not relaunch. It gives me an error every time. And guys, I have run through all of these standard steps. I have rebooted. I have uninstalled and reinstalled the whole game, 50 gig game, twice. You know how Call of Duty pops up and says, hey, do you want to launch in safe mode? We noticed it didn't work well last time. Yeah, sure. Try that. Doesn't work. I have tried going into NVIDIA GeForce Experience and saying, hey, optimize the settings first, because sometimes it's like a graphics setting issue that's preventing it, and that'll work. Even though safe mode should fix that, nothing. I have uninstalled and then searched my computer to the nth degree for every single Vanguard file, deleted it, nothing. And the weird part is I would totally equate this to usually, there's like, oh, hey, disable the Discord overlay, disable this, disable that. Guys, it was working fine like a second ago. And for some reason, something caused a crash. And the weird part is usually that's just like a corrupt file. Uninstalling, reinstalling, deleting all the files. I'm trying to think of everything I've done. I mean, I did a bunch of, it was actually the reason I was late to this show. I'm like, there's got to be something that works. So I don't know. You guys are always good for finding that one thing that I didn't try. But it's very odd that a game just after all of that, right? Rebooting, uninstalling, reinstalling, everything, just won't launch. It launches, it gets to the black screen to start, and it shows, and if you're a Call of Duty fan, it shows like the version up top, and then that's it. It freezes. And then it pops up with this new dialogue from Vanguard saying, hey, do you want to submit your crash report? And of course I say yes. I've scanned and repaired, done absolutely everything. So if you guys have any solution, as of right now, I can no longer launch Vanguard, and that is just something that usually one of those things will fix. So let me know.
Other games work?
Other games work. And the graphics card's working, obviously. It's
well, is that obvious? Is it working? I mean, what if there's some bad memory in that card and it's accessing, the game is trying to access that part of the memory?
Oh.
You have any way of testing the card?
I mean, I'm using it now. It's not putting a big load on it.
You're not.
Maybe so after this, maybe I'll launch Forza. Forza's in the other new game or something like that, and see if Jim, that's a good consideration. That's a good thought. I don't know.
I was surprised when Ken and I were doing this Chia crypto, and it's super memory intensive. And Ken had me download and run some memory test software, and I forget the name of it now, but just
was it Prime 95?
Something like that. Like that. If you want to know what it is, shoot me a note and I'll track it down. I can't remember. But I had memory that tested bad, and the PC ran fine. Like under normal conditions, it was okay, but we were really stressing out that memory, and it had bad components in it, right? And
because maybe that part of the graphics card just went during the game, because
that
3060 Ti that I got, we talked about it last week. Joe hooked me up with that. Has been fantastic, and I haven't even mined on it because I didn't want to like ruin it. I'm like, this is the first really nice card I've ever owned. This is like a really nice card. I'm not even going to mine on it. So I haven't overclocked. I haven't mined. I just like, that is the stock config. So it's just, maybe you're right, Jim. Maybe there's something. And
run a memory test.
As I look at it now, this GPU we're only running 1.5 on the VRAM of 1.5 gigs. So maybe there is something with that. Maybe it's starting to launch up. The only odd part about that is usually with Call of Duty, it doesn't kick in full use of the GPU until you even get like past a lot of the menus. Because it's like, it uses all CPU. And so I don't even see my CPU spiking because when you launch a game, like I have the meters, I have rain meter on the left, and I see my CPU spike, and it usually runs at 100 for just like a few seconds and then drops down. It's not doing that. So I have no idea. And it's really odd. The one thing I did learn though, guys, it's kind of interesting. The new Call of Duties, and maybe this has been a thing for a while, I didn't know this, it stores files in your documents folder, like your standard documents folder. I now have a folder for Call of Duty Black Ops, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and Call of Duty Vanguard. And so you go in there, and there are actually 2 files in there. I wiped those out after an uninstall, launched it, it crashed. Then I actually went in just without uninstalling them to wipe those files out, and it recreates them. And this is just weird. Like anytime I have this sort of issue, usually it is a graphics issue, but sometimes I'll go into NVIDIA GeForce because GeForce Experience lets you go into each game and says, hey, optimize the graphics for this game. And it goes in and actually changes the settings file for that game. And that's not even working. Like this is just beyond odd. I've never had this sort of issue where nothing is recovering it. And I would think it was something like a overlay, but nothing changed. It was literally in the middle of like my 4th game in, it just crashed and never came back. I didn't launch anything, didn't change anything. So, I got to go through the full diagnostic now.
Yeah, you do. I mean, check both GPU and your RAM, right? For sure.
Yeah. And I did just install, like 2 weeks ago, I installed an additional 16 gigs of regular RAM.
Yep.
That hasn't been an issue, but maybe it is. Maybe
it wasn't an issue for me. Listen, I was running Windows. I'd been running Windows with that memory forever. And it kept for us when we were mining with it, or when we were plotting at the time, and the plot would get a certain distance and it would just fail. It would just stop. And like, it was maddening because I'm like, the PC's working,
right? That's
but
what this is to me. It's maddening because
we tried to
else is working.
Access that memory address, and it was like, nope, you can't have it. And then the thing would just graciously throw up all over the place, right?
Right.
So, I mean, if it were me, I'd run some diagnostics off the card and the memory, and I'd try to run a full diagnostic on the hard drive just to make sure, let it run through some kind of, just have it check the sectors, make sure you have no bad. That's probably the least common problem. I mean, but you never know while you're at it. Just run a diagnostic on the, on that. If the manufacturer has something that'll check the board ID, I might even run something on the board just to make sure.
That's a good point. And Brian brings up a good point of checking forums. And so I had checked Twitter right away, and there wasn't anything main. But now I just went and did another search on Twitter to kind of dive deeper, and people are having certain issues. So maybe I need to come through and see if any of these people have had issues. Actually, it's funny. This one I'm reading now is, hey, do you play as this certain character in COD? Because that's causing launch issues. So
it's complicated.
Knows?
It's complicated. Yeah.
It's all complicated. But yeah, that is the current issue that I'm dealing with. And we'll see if there's anything that gets it fixed. But
Joe says Furmark is a good tool to stress test the GPU.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I need to run Furmark, stress that. I need to stress the memory, Jim, like you mentioned.
Yep. Just do a memory test.
And
you want it to test every single sector and every single chip.
Right. And I'll probably just after the podcast, I'll launch something like Forza or another game, Destiny, and then see.
Push it hard.
Halo just came out. And I've been playing a little bit of Halo too, so push it hard and see if that does anything.
Yeah, push it hard. Makes you wish you had an Xbox. Huh?
It's so funny you say that. I actually just pulled my Xbox out of storage, and last night because I was like, it would be nice to kind of see how this thing compares. So I could. The problem is, Jim, with a lot of these games, if you don't buy them through Xbox, then you have to buy them twice.
Yeah.
So for example, I don't own Vanguard on Xbox and PC, just PC, because I bought it through Battle.net.
Oh, gaming.
Gaming.
I don't need a gaming habit. We're going to spend some time. So if you want to get to Mike, jump in Discord, theaverageguy.tv/Discord, if you can help us there. You can find him on Twitter at Wieger Tech if you want to do it that way. Last resort, you can email me, Jim@theaverageguy.tv, and I'll forward it over to Mike, and we'll get it done. Mike, I want to spend some little time talking about Black Friday deals. Not anything super specific, but maybe some trends, at least that I've been seeing out there, and some things that have been available. One came up the other day. These are all, I get these notifications through Slick Deals, and it just kind of keeps me in the game. I probably buy more than I should that way. Have some alerts for Ring cams. I have alerts for some Black & Decker stuff because I've bought a bunch of Black & Decker stuff over the last couple weeks. Talk about that here at the end of the show. And of course, all the smart plugs and stuff. And recently, this is a KP115, a Casa smart plug, right? Energy monitoring, blah blah blah. They're normally $6 or $7. They had a deal running this week where if you had to tell a lady to put it on your list, they wouldn't give you the discount unless you ordered it through. I mean, talk about a way to get you right now. Now the retail on these was 20. I have a hard time believing that. Typically, they're like 9 at most, right? But they gave you $14 or $15 off. That made it $3.50. The trick was in a couple shows ago, I was just talking about how I always lose the one that I need for the Christmas tree, and I don't lose it. I lose it to another
thing. After Christmas gets over, you're like, oh, right? Hey, now I need to move this to somewhere else, because no tech guy can just put one of those in a box with the tree and let it sit there for a year. It's got to be utilized.
Yeah, no, except
I paid $9 for this thing.
As soon as literally the afternoon after I ordered this, I ordered it in the morning. So I told the lady, hey, put this on the list. Then I went on to the website and bought it. $3.50. Pretty good deal. Literally 2 hours later, I was opening a drawer. I saw the Christmas one.
That's how it works.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
is that deal still going? Because I need a few of those. I'm gonna ask A Lady right now.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Mute yourself. Ask A Lady.
So what? What'd you say?
That's a good question.
Let me try one second.
Okay, we'll do that. So, while Mike's doing that, if you might want to look into some of the deals, especially on the Amazon sites. They're doing some pretty interesting trickery to kind of get you to purchase or order through it. And I don't know, give it a try. I did it. I didn't order it on the spot. I double checked the price on the website before I ordered it and sent it off. I'll have an extra one to throw into a space. But I thought that was kind of an interesting Black Friday technique that Amazon is doing. Speaking of, did it work? Did you get it in there? Oh, hold on. You're still muted. Sorry.
So I don't know on Amazon A Lady where. So she added it to my shopping list.
Yeah.
Where is my list? Shouldn't add it to my cart.
Oh, should have went right to the cart.
Maybe that's why.
When you did it.
My wish list. Maybe that's what it is.
Let's see if I'll get in. Let's do my
shopping list
orders.
Right there.
There you go. Did it work?
Let's see.
There was some kind of phrase. Well, how much is it saying it is now?
Let's see.
I have $21.
Weird she didn't add it because she said I added it.
I would not.
$17. No.
Yeah, the
$15.
Yeah, the one I'm saying is 21. I'll try and
12.
I'll try. Yeah, well, that's the thing with these, Mike. Right? Is that
that's not bad though.
Yeah, 2-pack for 12 is pretty average.
Yeah,
right? It's pretty average price. $3.50 I thought was a really good price. I haven't seen them that cheap, and I can always use an extra one. Kind of hanging around. Here when we're not doing the show, I'll see if I can track down the voice command. I think it was just for that day, and I think it was because of her birthday or something like that. They've been celebrating 7 years of Amazon Alexa, which just seems crazy. I probably shouldn't have said that word. Just as Black Friday goes, again, I found it very, very helpful to be kind of on the slick deal side of things, because these things pop up. Don't follow every rabbit trail, but I've set it like a DeWalt alert. Now I have like a Black & Decker. One of the things I've learned, so let's talk about this. I've gotten a little crazy on Black & Decker equipment. So I bought that drill. I bought those we showed them post show 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
those chainsaw clippers. Basically what
Have
they
you
are.
tried that out yet?
I have. They're great. Yeah,
Okay, good.
it's great. Yeah.
Worthwhile.
It's really good for 5 inches and below, and then not if it's too small, it's like using a chainsaw to cut brush. Like, you don't wanna do that. One of the areas where it's been really, really helpful is in the area of batteries, because batteries I don't know if you guys have been following what's going on in the battery thing, but DeWalt has turned their products the products are the shaver handle.
Mhm.
The batteries are the blades. Like,
100%.
let's be
Driving me
really, really
nuts.
clear about this. And so if you like want to get a good DeWalt battery, they're like $150,
Are
right? I
they
mean,
that expensive?
like the cheap
I
ones are
haven't
not,
looked
dude,
recently.
the cheap ones are like 99. And
Wow.
yeah. And DeWalt's being really, really protective about knockoffs. Black& Decker, on the other hand, not so protective. So on the Black& Decker side of things, you can get knockoff batteries and there's tons of them. So the quality's pretty high because it's everybody's competing in that space.
Right.
And you can get, like you can get a kind of a starter battery for your drill, whatever, for $20 as opposed to $100. The slick deals or the alerts are the way to watch for your batteries because they're always running these deals, especially on the DeWalt side of things. Milwaukee's the same, they're all kind of the same. Just kind of depends on the ecosystem that you're in. But set up those alerts and just kind of watch, get an idea of what. And listen, not all batteries are the same. They've got different settings on them. The 20 and the 40 volts aren't the same. They got different connectors on them, so you don't mix them up. It's like gas and diesel, different. You don't want to mix those things up, right?
Yep.
But man, the batteries become big business in this, and depending on who you're going with and who's got the corner of the battery market, those blades are expensive to go with. So I've kind of been I also, so besides the loppers, the chainsaw loppers that I bought, they're really too big and bulky. They're not bad if you're cutting, like if you have a whole bunch of brush to cut at the same time. I did pick up a little 10-inch Black & Decker chainsaw too. That's a 20 volt. And that's been great because I don't need a gas chainsaw. Like, I just don't do that enough. And my neighbor's a tree guy. If I need it, I'll just say, hey, can you do this for me? But Mike, it's helpful, especially here in Nebraska, where we run into these moments where we get snow early in October, or we get a tornado that blows through in July and knocks down your fence,
Right.
or takes a couple trees out with it. And you just need that chainsaw that can do some of the minor things, right?
Mm-hmm.
The battery ones, and again, all the major tool suppliers have them. I like the Black & Decker one, but a little 10 or 12 inch, they run $100. I think I got that mine for 85. So 10 inch for 85. The 12 inch versions are a 125, let's say, not terrible. And then whatever battery you want to put in it, those batteries are interchangeable with other things, so that works out pretty well. And you've got it on hand just in case you get a tree down. I've been doing this landscaping, pulling these blocks out. They're big 5x5 or 6x6 blocks. Well, they're unwieldy. It's kind of nice to have that little chainsaw, not have to worry about 2-cycle gas, not the noise with them.
Yeah.
They grind through it enough. I bought a big 6.5 battery, grinds through it enough to get the job done, and then you just put it on the shelf.
The maintenance of it, everything.
Yeah. It's kind of the argument that Ed Sullivan has been, drilling me with on a Tesla. And you're thinking about with the truck, right? I mean, it's like,
yeah,
you really do. When you take away gas and oil, you still gotta, there's still things to lube on an electric car, but man, when you remove the engine and the transmission, and like all of a sudden you start going, wow, there's a lot less maintenance involved. So 3 really good purchases: buying those loppers, buying a chainsaw I can throw in the back of my car, by the way, and not have to worry about gas spilling out. I can take it if we need to go someplace and cut a few things up. It'll probably do. I probably get a half an hour out of the thing of straight cutting before I need to charge the battery, which is probably enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Well, it's funny. I was expecting, so I was talking to, we have some guys at work who are really big car guys, right? They're gearheads. They love wrenching on their cars and everything. And so they were talking about all these improvements they're making to the car. And I said, okay, so how do you feel about these all electric cars coming out, like the F-150 Lightning? And they're like, oh, like anyone's got to admit it's amazing. Like even
Yeah.
as big of a car guy as I am, like you've got to admit the instant power, the simplicity of everything, and just how all that functions. Like you got to appreciate it. I was like, wow, I did not expect that from guys who, traditionally wrench on, gas cars, right? So I think that carries over
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
everything when you've got electric, lawn
Yeah. It's
equipment,
just,
especially. It's just
yeah.
easier. I was hesitant to go after it, and I'm kind of wishing I had waited to go with the electric stuff. My dad, on the other hand,
Mhm.
fully adopted it. I go down, and he's a big DeWalt guy, so he's got the DeWalt everything, the
Mhm.
leaf blower, everything, and it
Mhm.
is kind of sweet once you're in one ecosystem. He swaps those batteries around, doesn't have to deal with, like you
Mhm.
said, the 2-cycle gas, changing oil, everything like that. Cub Cadet now has a fully electric tractor mower just like mine, that I really wish had been out when I got my lawnmower.
Next time you can
Yeah,
sell it. You've got a good track record of selling those things,
for
and
more. Yeah, we'll see. We'll
you
see if
know,
maybe I could
don't
work
don't
some
try and
deal
sell
there.
it in the state of California. They have outlawed gas mowers, gas leaf
Wait,
blowers.
have they really? Like
Yes.
fully outlawed?
Yeah, you
That's not
can't
a
buy them.
joke?
No, that's not a joke.
Oh,
Yeah, you can't
wow.
buy them there anymore. And I don't know what the rules are on using them. There, nobody, no, nobody is liking that. There's endless complaining, and I'm sure it's a lot more complicated than that. But we are
Just
certainly
imagine the cops
moving.
rolling up as you're mowing your lawn, like, "Sir, we're gonna have to take you into custody." For what?
All the lawn guys I watch on YouTube, they're thank goodness none of them are in California. They're all somewhere else, because
We're gonna
they
need proof of purchase that you purchased that before this law went into effect.
yeah. I
You
wonder
want
how
a
that
receipt on my
works.
lawnmower?
I
Okay.
wonder how that works. Well, it's certainly it's handy. Like I went from having one Black and Decker battery to four within a week because I bought those loppers, I bought that drill, and I
Yeah.
bought the chainsaw. And then I went. One of them came with a battery. The drill came up $25 for a drill. Like, yeah, through Ace. That was
Oh,
the
for
Ace
sure.
Hardware. Yeah, you're like,
Especially a Black and Decker one though. Like I have both the Black and Decker and DeWalt, and I
yeah,
literally just use them when the battery goes out on each because I don't have multiple batteries. And I love both of those. I mean, so
yeah.
$25 for one of those drills, that's a great
the
deal.
the battery from the lopper fits on the drill, so if I was going to if I needed an extended, and that's the big thick 6.5, so if I needed longer time on that drill for whatever, if I was, I could switch those batteries out and get it done. So yeah, it's I guess the moral of the story is, gentlemen, if you're looking for some of those, even though some of those non-traditional stuff, that's not going to show up at Christmas, there's some pretty good deals going on right now. The economy is hot, but it's there. And I kind of thought the deals would be few and far between. And I'm actually seeing a ton of deals. Here's an area. If you're the average TV viewer and you haven't upgraded to something bigger than a 40-inch TV, now is the time. Right now. Like, you're going to find, and again, these are the low end average guy ones. This isn't the high end, 8,000 hertz,
Right.
right? A 10,000
OLEDs.
K TV. Like, no, okay. These are some pretty basic TVs, but pretty good and pretty, like, $300 or less for 40 inches. I've seen some 50 inches for less than $300.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, especially because everyone knows on this show that I still haven't upgraded to 4K. Like I've been thinking, is this
Yeah.
the time? Is this
Yeah.
the year where we utilize Black Friday to kind of get into the 4K market? And because
Yeah.
even they're still doing deals on the high end ones too,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're not as cheap, but they're still down from where they typically are.
Six,
So
700, 800,
yeah,
somewhere in that
because I would
price
love
range.
like a
Yeah.
good high quality 4K OLED in my house, right? And so if we could get some of those on good deals, and they're finally starting to have them, that might be worth it.
Shoemaker says, I have to drive to Arizona to buy some gas powered lawn tools. There's going to be a black market for sure.
This
Going
reminds me
on
of
there.
like the traditional light bulb, right? That you like,
Yeah,
oh, we got those good, yeah,
incandescent
those got
lighting.
those good incandescent light bulbs. Yeah, go across the border to get some of those.
Going to Arizona to get some light bulbs.
Right.
There'll be an underground gas lawn equipment market coming up. That's from Alex. Jim says, hey, psst, buddy, you want to buy a leaf blower? That's pretty funny. And then Brian says, and if they don't allow new ones but allow for used ones, the repair market would be big for sure.
That's a good point.
Have to look in. It doesn't surprise me with California.
Become a black market combustion engine, small engine repair shop in California right now.
Dude, I think the days of the combustion engine are nigh. I think they're short.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. We just seem to be headed down that path pretty well. Other deals as I've been looking out on Black Friday stuff. If you've been holding off on any of the assistance, now is the time to buy one, right? And whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, whatever size, whatever you want. If you say you got a first gen Echo, the black cylinder ones. We still have one. It works great. I'm not going to get rid of it. But say you have that and it's time to upgrade to something else. Now's the time. They're all these Black Friday deals are all there, and I would say, even if you're listening to this after Thanksgiving and you missed kind of the traditional Black Friday, I bet they're still on sale. I bet there's going to be, I got a Kohl's advertisement paper in the mail, right? Kohl's is just still crushing it with,
for sure.
Kohl's Cash, which is just
Kohl's Cash. Yeah.
Just a friggin' sham. It's like the Menards rebate, which is just even a worse sham, right? Anyway,
I love the Menards. Both those things I love. So I don't know. Don't tell me they're a sham, Jim, because I love both those.
Well, I still have a stack as I'm talking. I have a stack of receipts here that for the 11% rebate. Menards happens to be the closest to us here, but now is the time. If you're gonna do that, don't delay. You want to get those in. Kohl's, I think, had the 8.8 inch screen version of the Amazon device for $59. And it's just like great kitchen, great to go in your kitchen. We have the little 5-inch show in there, and it's that is the most used device in the house. Saturday mornings, when I'm like, if I need to go up and make lunch and I'm watching Cigar Authority, I'll just start it there. I'll just tell it, hey, start Cigar Authority on YouTube. Brings up a browser version of it, and I hit play, and boom, I can be watching that right on the show. So not a bad way to stay up to date. I think the other thing, Mike, is home automation is going to be it's going to have there's going to be some good deals out there you're going to want to watch for.
That's where I'm going for. And one of my, so I have a buddy at work, and he's just moving into his first house, and he's also just kind of dipping his toe into home automation and home assistant. What does he go for? Security cameras. And I told him I'm kind of jealous that he gets to start from scratch right now. I said, because it's such a good time to get into home automation. I said, because, back in the day, you not on purpose, you had to piecemeal things together to make that work. And nowadays you have so many options. And so we've been talking a lot about, obviously, Home Assistant and using Zigbee or Z-Wave. And he actually got me thinking. He's like, hey, Mike, you said you use Simply Safe. And I was like, yeah, I use Simply Safe for my home security. And he's like, have you ever thought about, are there any like roll your own Unraid Docker, versions of a home security system? He said, because all those are pretty much Z-Wave or Zigbee, home, door sensors and things like that. And I was like, to be honest, Brad, I've never thought about that, but that's now you've got me going down a rabbit hole, wondering if I could build my own home security system in Home Assistant. And so that's been something I've been thinking about. And a lot of those deals on, there's a lot of popular brands of Zigbee and Z-Wave sensors. Those have already been going on sale. I did miss AliExpress apparently had, I don't know what they call it. There's a name for it. Someone in chat will know it. Like last week they had like their day, right? which is their Black Friday day, where all of those sensors were extremely cheap. But I'm thinking I might pick up some more just from Amazon or wherever I can find them on Black Friday, some more home sensors and start playing around with, because I think in Home Assistant, you probably could build a pretty decent home alarm system, at least just an internal one. You know, it's not going to ring out to 911 or anything. But an internal alarm system. So that's kind of a project I've been wanting to do. And I think Acora is a popular brand for some of those. And, you know, a lot of times you see them $20 on Amazon. They're like $5 on AliExpress. It's the same exact one I've bought in both. So I think I might look for some of those deals.
The other thing, if you miss the holidays, watch your local big box stores in January in big box hardware for some of these home automation devices. They don't really know. They're getting better. They used to not know. But like Home Depot and Lowe's and Menards, they had no idea. Well, first of all, Menards never had any good. Like they are the worst.
Oh yeah,
they're the worst at this. Stuff. So don't go to Menards for this stuff. But Lowe's and Home Depot were trying to keep up with this stuff, and sometimes they just clearance stuff out. Now, sometimes they'd be clearancing things out that you didn't want to have. But from time to time, you can find kind of name brand Nest stuff that they're just trying to move along because they can't hold it. They got to move it because they got to put something else on the shelf that's taking that space. Keep your eyes open. All those stores have little clearance boxes, and both in our Lowe's and our Home Depot, you come into the store, go down the main aisle, and there's 2 or 3 clearance racks right there.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes you can find some pretty good, some pretty good deals on it. I think what you're going to see here, both during this season and at the end of the season, is big discounts on lighting. So if you were thinking about replacing some stuff with some LED lighting, if you were thinking about where you needed under cabinet, I'm seeing a lot of these deals, under cabinet lighting, where you wanted to put LED, watch through this season. And I think you're going to probably see some pretty good deals. That has been a pretty expensive area. I think those prices are going to be tend to be driven down a little bit. Just for whatever reason, I think the high prices pulled a lot of people into the market. And I'm not sure all the demand is there to pay those prices, especially the way people are feeling about inflation. So there may be some great opportunities kind of with lighting. I've got some, I put Christmas lights up on my deck that are that's the deck lighting. And I've slowly been losing a bulb at a time, and I've got to replace those. They're incandescent. I could go and just buy some cheap ones at the end of the season. That's the time. Like, you ever bought Christmas lights at the end of the season? It's literally a nickel on the dollar,
right?
To do it that way, right? And you can't, especially if you're going to go up like a deck lighting, you're going up underneath stuff. Yeah, if you get 3 or 4 seasons out of a $3 box of Christmas lights that had retailed for $25 or whatever, right? But I would like to find some outdoor LED that I go in and kind of replace all those with and kind of get 10 years out of it, as opposed to 2 or 3. I don't know, Mike, anything else along those lines that you?
Well, I just like that idea because there's nothing. Well, I hate finding that one bulb that's out on Christmas lights because I end up throwing the whole strand out. Like, it's just so frustrating. So finding those good deals is always good.
Yeah.
For me, Black Friday, I'm looking for cheap storage. Again, this is something where we've seen storage come down in price. So there's a few things I always look for in storage. Number one is, for the Unraid box, spinners for me are still important. I know no one has a need for spinners unless you're doing some storage, cold storage like Unraid. And so for me,
you're a Chia miner,
you're a Chia miner, right? Yeah, and so finding some of those drives, and those already discounted, then they're probably trying to get rid of them even more on Black Friday. And then obviously the M.2 drives. I'm always looking for opportunity to upgrade my 1 terabyte to a 2 terabyte, or do something like that. And then for me, in the back of my mind, Jim, there's always this, I want to rebuild the Unraid box. Yeah. So I need a new motherboard, something cheap on the Ryzen side, right? I'm still running that, I don't even know what it is now, 13-year-old motherboard with an i7 3770 with 16 gigs of RAM. I would love to get some more power into that. So if I could piecemeal, and I don't need to do it today, So on Black Friday, if I notice a really good motherboard, or
Yeah.
if AMD, CPUs are low, I think I might just start grabbing those things as I see them on sale. And then eventually, maybe in a few months, I'll have the parts to, completely gut that thing and put it back in.
I think you might be better off waiting till January for those deals, because I
Okay.
think they're gonna, those are high rent today with the chip shortage, blah blah blah,
Yeah,
all
that's
that
probably
stuff, right?
true.
I think everybody's kind of holding on to the prices. I mean, come on, listen, this is the first time in a long time tech has gotten high prices. I mean, it was a race to the bottom,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so I think they're all enjoying that, but I think it's going to cause a glut. Anytime there's high prices in any market, it creates a glut. Everybody races to it, you know. So I wouldn't I wouldn't put it past in the January timeframe to start looking for, because they're going to panic. They'll be like,
Right.
no, we didn't sell it during Christmas. We better. And there's new stuff coming. It's the beginning of the year. CES is here. There's new stuff being announced. The other thing I might look for is some Dell or Lenovo boxes that are coming off lease or coming off whatever. They're a couple years old. Still might get you the configuration you're looking for. You could also pull those things out of those boxes or customize those boxes, or something along those lines. Since my Drobo died, I've been thinking about, like, how could I Dremel that thing a new board? Right? How can I put a new
Uh-huh.
board and that turn it into whatever? Maybe that becomes, maybe I get an ultra small. I'll have to talk. Jay
Ultra
Madison.
compact unraid box.
Yeah, Jay Madison's on next week. I'd ask Jay about that. Like,
he's that small form factor guy.
yeah, what's the smallest I could get in there and kind of fit that in and make it a Windows Drobo? How cool would that be? We'll have to quiz Jay on that next week, when I have him in. Mike, one of the other things that you kind of got me thinking about, and I've had a hard time getting this off my mind, and they're super expensive, but it's these EcoFlow generators.
Yeah.
Listen, last year I bought a really quiet gas. I bought a Club Cadet of generators, right? From that standpoint, really nice Briggs and Stratton, and it's going to be great. I'm gonna have it for a long time, and it's going to be a good thing. But you got me looking at these EcoFlows, and then many of them are being sold with the solar panels that you need to kind of keep them charged, and can't stop thinking about it. Now, what stopped me is they're $3,000. They're $3,000 and $2,000 or $3,000.
Hey, but right now, save an extra $500 when you apply this coupon. Just check that box; you save $500 right there.
I can't afford not to buy this at this point.
Yes, it needs to be purchased.
If you had, let's just say you had a portable, battery generator, you're going out hunting, and your guys are on the farm.
Oh yeah,
how would that get used a lot when you
100%.
guys are out on the farm?
Yeah, or even camping. We do a lot of camping where you take that, and nowadays, I like to camp, but I would also like some of the creature comforts of home, right? So you're running things off one of those. So bringing one of those, if I didn't have my eye on the F-150 Lightning, this would definitely be my next purchase. I was on the verge of purchasing something like this, right? A big battery. You're showing the Jackery now, Jackery, EcoFlow, all of these big kind of electric generators, and then getting some solar on top of them. On top of that, when I go out and do my parks on the air activation, or if I'm camping and want to do some ham radio, this is perfect, right? Because my battery will only last so long that I have for my radio. So plugging into something like this gives you that extra time. I think these things are something, everyone could utilize. Think about how many times you go out and it would be nice to have that portable power that we're plugging into a car, but then you got to turn the car on to get the power, and then you're burning gas, et cetera, et cetera. Tailgates, all sorts of uses for something like this that I can think of in my life that you would use. So, and then not to mention just when the power goes out, okay, hey, we have something that you can pull into the kitchen, right? You don't even need to have it outside because it's not gas. Pull something into the kitchen and plug the fridge into it. And we can run the fridge for a day and a half, 2 days, whatever it is. I, do the math on how long that could last. So, I just think these things, there's so much benefit to them. Then you add the solar on top of it to keep them topped off. and you're like, wow. Like you start to think about ways that you could be like quote unquote off the grid electrically for an extended period of time with that.
Yeah.
And okay, how much could I run and how many of these would I need and when would I start using each of these? I love it.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm tempted. My APC, or my APC UPS units are aging, and the one I'm showing a Lip Power power station. It's 1,000 watts. Would probably be enough to power all my computer equipment that's here. And so I'm kind of thinking now this is about 4 times more. Yeah, 4 times more than I'd pay to replace the two of them. That's probably not true. I probably pay $300 or $400 to replace the 2 units that support them today. But one of the things as a UPS, one, they're better. They're better than those APC units as far as powering things. And two, when my power goes out, I can just recharge this. Like these will keep things running for a while.
Yeah.
And then I can just recharge this, right? Type deal.
Right.
And today my current UPS units will not, they keep blowing the breakers on my generator. So I end up having to take it. Something's not in sync with that, right? So I'm kind of thinking when it's time next time those batteries go, they're $100 to replace. Next time the batteries go, I may take a look at how do I bring one of these in house and use it full time as a UPS kind of backup. And I'd be fairly smart about the way I plugged it in so that I could, do some other things with it as well. But just a thought. I'm having a hard time. The other use case for it is out in the shed. I'm spending more and more time out there. And you're kind of like, well, it'd be kind of nice to have some battery power. I don't know if I need $3,000 worth of battery power out there, but I bet this $700 unit would probably.
But what I like about systems like this, Jim, is okay. So think about it. On a shed is a perfect use case where you get one of those and one solar panel, and that thing is always on in the shed. So think about now you can power all your lighting, computers, whatever you need in the shed. And then in the event so it's giving you something extra you didn't have without running electrical out to the shed. Now you have something extra. And then in the event of a power outage, you don't need your shed. You pull that thing in and now you've got the backup that you need. So like those are the circumstances where if I had someplace at my house where I really needed that kind of power, where I don't have access to it, man, that would be, because then I could justify it more like, okay, it's replacing the cost of running a power line out. Plus, when I need the backup, I just pull it in, right? Because those things are so small and lightweight anyway that you just drag them inside or put them where you need to. And
unplug some things.
If I'm in your situation, I'm totally using the shed as my justification for grabbing something like that.
Yeah, Jim Shoemaker makes a good point. I got to do some homework on it. He says for use as a UPS, you must be careful to get one that will provide power while being charged. Right.
That's yes. I was going to wonder if that's the same technology, right?
Yeah.
If and I know I am not in this world, so I don't know if I'm using the right terminology, but some of the sine wave, right, where it's converting and giving a nice clean energy, clean power. So yeah, all of that, you're right, being charged. And now most of these will, because they're used to pulling from solar while also putting out. Right. Now, I don't know how much power they can pull in and charge, and if that's really a good use case for them, if they're intended for it. But yeah, a good point to check into.
Yeah, the shed is not in a great spot for solar. It's shaded.
Oh, okay.
It's shaded a ton of time, but the front certainly is. So if I got those panels, I would probably put them up front and then just run a wire back there or whatever to get it done. It's certainly worth thinking about.
Yeah, the hard part for me whenever I see the price is so high on those EcoFlows that I start to look into what does a proper big battery bank installed in my garage and solar on my roof cost.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm just going to put, all I would need is like 2-3 solar panels up on the top, a nice power bank in the garage. What is that cost?
I think you're in 10 grand. I think those start at like 10.
Yeah.
That way. I think for you, the portability of these kind of units, and you're probably at the 15 to 2,000 price range for them. And that's going to get you a couple solar panels too for when you're out on the farm. You could throw those up and recharge them if you want to.
Yeah. See, and if I wasn't looking at the Ford F-150 Lightning, because that
Yeah,
answers
yeah.
all of my problems.
Right.
That is
right.
the backup generator for the house. That is, I go to the farm, I take the truck. I go camping, I take the truck. Everywhere I go, I will have more than enough power that I need to run. So I agree. The use case for them is
Yeah.
endless.
Yeah. It's pretty handy, and I can't stop thinking about them. I spend a lot of time looking at them. Couple years ago, there was maybe 2 brands doing this, and they're clunky and ugly, and man, they have gotten beautiful and
Yes,
functional and competitive. They're still pretty expensive, but if
they
you
are.
watch again, this is one of those things. If you're interested, set that Slick Deals alert and just kind of watch for the trends. I use Honey as well, and Honey will give you some pricing trends, so you kind of know, like, oh, okay, this is a good deal or it's not a good deal or whatever. And I bought that generator. Oh, I think I bought it in April or May of 2020, so it's coming up on a year and a half. And I have less than 100 hours on it, but I run it every month or so just to kind of make sure, just get it out there, get it running, go through some gas, try and keep that thing, kind of keep it up. I think that the 100 hour oil change is coming up, and I might take that thing in to have somebody just tune that thing up or just check it for me. So certainly with these, no, like they're really made for me, Mike, because they're zero maintenance.
Right.
They really are. They're just kind of zero maintenance.
They're made for everyone. I mean, everyone loves zero maintenance.
Well, I am particularly, because I shouldn't say that. I'm pretty good at maintenance stuff, but I kind of do like the no maintenance. Anything else you're keeping your eyes on, Mike, as we think about Black Friday? First of all, have you gotten your Christmas shopping done? Are you good?
No, we are behind. And
Yeah.
my wife and I are historically bad at utilizing Black Friday. We both hate crowds. We don't enjoy the thrill of it. So we're more Cyber Monday people. That's like
Okay. All
our
right.
thing. So
This year's
I
going
think
to be sketchy, my friend. It's
I
going to,
know.
especially for order online, it's going to be sketchy. I'm done. I
You
am
are
done.
done with
I'm
all your
done.
shopping.
It's the shopping's done. I
Wow.
have one more thing to show up, and then I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah. Sarah's mostly done too. She loves to shop. Let's just be really clear. So she bought stuff in July and August. First,
Wow.
yeah, that kind of thing going on. This year is going to be one of those interesting years. I haven't felt the crunch yet. I mean, I ordered this thing from Amazon Wednesday, got here today. No, Tuesday, and I got here today. So 2 days. Still, Amazon stuff is still delivering, but I'm hearing all kinds of rumors that shipping is going to be awful this year. So
I can see that. There's one other item. One thing. It's so weird. These things have been around for such a long time. But what got me into it was ham radio. That's no surprise. But a weather station, and they have these really cool now weather stations. And since I have this pole that has an antenna on my roof already, I have a really good place to mount it. So Radiodity is one of those brands of kind of like cheaper. Oh, and it's actually like literally the first thing. I'll just say, so it's called the Raddy RADDY WF100C. Here, I'll share my screen. Here,
yeah, do that. Let's bring that thing up.
Let's see. You guys are gonna see yourself here for a second. All right. So this weather station is kind of interesting, right? It's completely wireless. This unit's actually not that big. And then you get this wireless screen for inside your house, connects to the Wi-Fi and everything. You get another remote sensor for temperature. And this thing can mount to, a pole, or it can mount straight to your wall, however you want it. These things are nothing new. These things have been around for forever. But for some reason, like, this is very intriguing to me this year. I see on the APRS website, which is the ham radio kind of like protocol, call it, weather reports from all over. And I just think one of these would be extremely cool to check rain and how much we're getting. wind and all of that. You can set all sorts of alerts. So I haven't done my research yet. This is one that I saw one of my ham radio YouTubers review, and I just I was like, yeah, that is something I've been wanting. But the screen itself is pretty quiet.
It does look
runs
cool.
on it's on battery or
Yeah.
can be plugged in. So you can put some double A's, plug it into the wall if you want to move it down to some place or take it with you somewhere. It's got the batteries built in. All sorts of really cool data. For $189, that's actually not bad for everything it gives you. So yeah. So this is one thing, an odd thing that if they do go on Black Friday, I will definitely be snagging.
I have thought a lot about a weather station, but the weather apps have gotten so good.
I know.
My radar.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, why will I ever look at it?
Yeah. It's just my radar is so accurate. Like I get these notifications on my watch. It's going to start raining in 5 minutes. Yeah. And then it starts raining, and you're like, oh, well, a weather station wouldn't have told me that, and, if you ever want to know how much it's rained in those areas, have you used windy.com, WINDY?
I have not. And then Alex in the chat asked if I've set up Weewex, WEEWX. It's a self-hosted weather database that keeps all of your weather trends.
Yep.
I haven't used that either.
Yep.
You had me at self-hosted, Alex, just to let you know. So now
does it have an unraid Docker? That's the question.
I'm literally checking right now.
If it's got an unraid Docker. Windy has been, I follow a YouTuber that uses Windy. I don't know where this thing came from. WINDY.com. I'm a weather guy, and it came out of the blue for me. All of a sudden, he was showing different 10-day rain amount predictions, and you could literally just scroll over some areas. So let me give you an example. So we'll drill in a little bit here to the Omaha area. We'll come down here. There's Bellevue, right? And so I can come in here and click on rain and then start clicking around. Let's see, new rain accumulation, set that there. And then I can set these little flags here. And you see that flag on the screen? Yeah. I can kind of drag that anywhere and it'll tell me here at the bottom of the screen, I'm looking at the next 3 days, but I can look at the next 5 days, or we'll look at the next 10 days, and I can kind of drag it around and go, well, this is kind of boring because we're not going to get any rain for the next 10 days. So let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. We'll go down here. Oh, there we go. So we've got some friends down in Texas. So you can kind of come down here and we'll go to Oak Grove, Texas. They're going to get in the next 10 days 4.5 inches, or at least that's what the forecast is. And if I wanted to know the difference between Oak Grove and, say, Jacksonville, Texas, Jacksonville is just going to be in that 2.5 range. And so it's kind of a really cool
That's really cool. I've never seen this before.
No, I hadn't either. Windy.com. Of course you can get new, we're coming up, at least here in the northern hemisphere, on new snow accumulations that are coming up, right? It's going to be snow season. So again, you can drag this in here and go up. Well, let's go up to Vail, Mike. Wouldn't it be great if we could be skiing in Vail right now? Yep. So we'll go up to Vail. We'll go to Steamboat Springs. So they're expected in the next 10 days, 5.5 inches of snow are forecasted for that area. Super cool. So, to your weather station, I'm kind of like,
it's completely unnecessary. It's just like the having the data for your house.
Right on. Yeah, no, I get you. I go back and forth on the weather station kind of concept. We'll go up to Jackson Hole. They're expecting about 8 inches of snow up there.
I'm going to be geeking on this website for a while.
Oh, holy cow. Let's go up there. 33. Let's see, where are we at? So there's some serious snow happening up in the Canadian Rockies.
Wow,
and, right now in the next 10 days, 112 inches of snow in the next 10 days.
How did you drop a flag? How did you?
So go over to on the right-hand side, go over and choose rain and thunder. And then you want to choose rain accumulation. And in the center of the screen, that flag will pop up. And then you should be able to just grab that flag and drag it around.
There it is.
There you go. You got it? So,
yeah.
dude, It's like, I mean, I was a big My Radar guy but this is even better than My Radar.
This is
And
really cool.
good opportunity. If you haven't checked it out, Windy, super easy to remember. WINDY, windy.com. If you want to check that out, and a good site if you're a weather guy. You can do it that way. Alex says, so with your own local weather stations, you could have set up some irrigation controllers that will check the station to see what your rain amount has
now
been.
there we go.
That's actually genius right there.
That's cool. I love that idea.
Yeah.
There we go. Now we've tied into home automation. Alex bringing us back. I like it.
I think the smart, especially when we think about smart watering, I think that's where a localized weather station comes in, because the only thing that'd be better is if you had moisture sensors in your ground around your yard to be like, hey, what's the moisture? And then at some point you would say at any given point in time, if the moisture level gets to this, turn this on. Or you could even save water by saying, if just turn it on in that sector, just turn on this one sector for now. We're kind of beyond here in Nebraska anyways. We're kind of beyond the lawn watering. Hopefully you've gotten your irrigation system winterized and blown out by this point, but some good opportunities on that. Well, we hope you are ready for what's coming up here, at least the onslaught that we call the holiday season. And Thanksgiving and Christmas here in the United States are the big holidays, Black Friday and all the sales that go along with it. And lots of great stuff ahead. I guess I'm not going to probably get a chance to say this as we get closer to Christmas, but just be safe and get some great time with the family. Don't forget the incredible opportunities we have and the privilege we have in a lot of what we do, and all this great time. Hopefully you'll get some time to spend with your family, and because there's certainly been a lot of craziness over the last couple of years. It's been nuts. So make sure you're taking advantage of the time and the holidays if you can. I do know some of you have to work during, the holiday season. You're in those critical roles where you might be on the floor at a hospital, or you might have to do a factory shift, or you might have to be babysitting some servers, during Christmas time, whatever, during the holidays, and certainly make the best of the opportunities that you have, and be safe during these times. Do safe things. All fingers and hands, keep them intact, especially around New Year's.
You do a lot of fireworks?
New Year's. Okay. Yeah. Well, some areas do more than others around the New Year's Day. Mike, anything else before I wrap it?
No. I'm obviously not here next week. It's you and Sammy. So
Jay's in 2 weeks. That's right.
Yeah,
my bad. So Sammy's next Friday for the post Thanksgiving show. So you want to join us on Friday, same time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern. Then Jay is the next week. I think we have a week in there, and then Marv comes back.
So everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. I won't see you guys, and you'll talk to these guys next Thursday, but I will be out. So enjoy.
A couple reminders on the way out, and one is if you maybe during the holiday season you want to start a website, or you want to do something with WordPress, or you're thinking like, I'm going to start a new business. Check out Christian at Maple Grove Partners. Secure, reliable, high-speed hosting from people that you know and you trust. Plans as little as $10 a month, and he loves Home Gadget Geek listeners. I need to ping him. I got to get him back on the show. We'll have him back on here maybe first of the year, see how things are going. But check it out, maplegrovepartners.com. Big thanks to our Patreon supporters who continue just to support month over month. Really important. And I just appreciate all of you that did that. Many of you, I put the call out to, hey, you want to be on the show? And a few of you did. Brian was one of those. He was on the show last week. I was thinking about John and Ed. Appreciate you guys doing that, and appreciate you guys supporting the show. If you want to do that, head out to theaverageguy.tv/Patreon and just appreciate your generosity there. If you don't have to, but if you feel like you want to, some folks, I remember getting contacted by somebody like, I have no way to pay you. Sorry. Okay. I'll work on it. I'll work on it, getting it done. And certainly I don't want to steal or rob your joy, as we like to say there. If you want to join us in the Discord group, theaverageguy.tv, theaverageguy.tv/Discord, send me an email, and many of you do, Jim at theaverageguy.tv, if you want to get it done that way. At Jay Collison, at Wieger Tech, if you want to track us down there. Although the Discord group is probably the best place, just to be honest, right now. A lot of good things are going on there in Discord. And then I will make one pitch for HelloFresh as we go into the new year, as we think about this. If you're as you've gotten back into the routine of things, and if you're eating, your dinners have gotten stale, like man, I need to do. Mac, we just had jalapeno bacon mac and cheese last night.
That sounds fantastic. You're talking spicy. You're talking bacon and mac and cheese. You've got me interested. Trifecta. Sounds great.
Trifecta. I mean, we had Italian. We bought Italian tonight, and it wasn't as good as the mac and cheese that we made. And I can make that on my own, but it is so great to have 2 meals a week, kind of just taken care of, right? Just they're there. It's, for me, it's worth it. I just like, it's a little more expensive. It is. It just is. But it's not as expensive as eating out, and it's just way better. And cooking it yourself, like I'm a completely different cook, Mike, than I was 3 years ago before we started doing this. Like I'm doing things. You know,
I am winning in that game.
I am winning. The best part is the pre-cook cocktail pour. Like, we always start dinner, the making of dinner, with a cocktail. And that's pretty great. Like, hey, what could we mix up as we're playing? It's just good fun. So go out to, let's see, how would you do this? Theaverageguy.tv/HelloFresh, I think will get you there. We have a link also. Probably best just to contact me. Send me an email, Jim@theaverageguy.tv, and I'll send you a coupon, get you a bunch of free stuff. I'm not looking to make any money off of it. I mean, I can if you want me to, but I just want you to, like, it's been so different for me in the way we eat. It's just one of those things. They're not a sponsor, but certainly they give away a ton of stuff to get it done. Just change the way we eat. We are live every Thursday, except next week is Friday. We are live every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern, out here at theaverageguy.tv/live. We'll do some crypto. You got time to do a little crypto in the post show, Mike?
I got a little bit of time.
Okay. Yeah. A little time. Little crypto update in the post show. Thanks for coming out and joining us. I got to make sure I got my phone. With that, we'll say goodbye, everybody.
Dude, I didn't think we would want to talk crypto. It's been a bad week.
I think this is the time to talk about it, right? Because
time to get in. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, these are the good times. This is when you kind of go, woohoo! Everything's on sale. It's Black Friday.
Sale.
It's Black Friday
for crypto.
Yeah,
that's probably true. Yeah.
No, right on. Okay, but let's just be. I mean, I think you have to be very cautious of the way you read the news. So,
for sure.
I
don't trust any mainstream media on crypto.
Okay, it's gone down quite a bit more. I agree with
you. Huddle.
What's that? Oh yeah. Hold out. It's actually a little bit worse than I saw.
Oh yeah, it was earlier. A bad day.
Yeah, a big kind of a flush. But Bitcoin had gone from 64 to 60,000, and the news was like, billions lost in the, you're like,
now it's under 56.
Well, 56.
Every time this happens, the media has a short-term memory that this happens literally all the time in crypto.
Yeah, this is clickbait. Like, it's perfect.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
They're like, Ethereum's at 4. 4,000 for Ethereum is still, like, even after a bloodbath, is still pretty great. Yeah. And Brian, thanks for the shout out on the show.
And SHIB's been taking a huge hit too. That's not been fun. It's one of those where you're just holding on for dear life. Like Joe says, actually, hold on dear life for HODL. Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm down 20% on that one.
Yeah.
A good solid 20. And that's okay. I'm kind of like, maybe it'll go lower. Like, I think
break
there's
even on that. I'm right back to where I got in. Yeah.
I'm down 20. But that's the one the kids talked me into. They were all trading on it, and they're like, Dad, are you going to do something with it? And I was like, okay. And so I eventually did. Tezos is another one I've had.
Yep.
Tezos. And that's had a crazy run up, and it's pulling back a little bit, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. It's actually, I may do some selling and some rebuying for tax purposes.
Right.
Right. Might as well.
Get out of those positions, take some losses, then
Yeah.
restart again next year.
Yeah. Might as well. Got some opportunities in there. I continue to wait for Ethereum 2 to kick in. It looks like it'll be sometime next year. I staked a bunch in there and I'm getting interest on it, about 4.5%, something like that. And the other thing, I refied recently, and I was thinking I had missed the boat. The refi boat, because I was like, I never time those things very well.
On your
And
home?
on the
Or
home.
on...
No,
Oh,
on
okay. I was
home
like, there's a
refi.
refi in crypto?
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I've done a home refi, and 2.375.
Wow.
I was
That
like,
is wild.
I called my buddy at the credit union, and I was like, hey, I know I probably missed the boat on this. And he was like, oh no, you have not missed the boat. So a 15-year, I think I'm going to use it to pay off the student loans. And
Yeah.
those aren't getting ever forgiven. So I'm not, there's all this talk of it, and then I started reading into it. I'm like, yeah, that's never.
It's not happening.
That's never going to happen.
No.
So yeah, but 2.375, and you kind of go, wow, that's dumb money. That's almost free.
It's free.
Like,
yeah,
you just kind of like, man, that's crazy. So I'm saying it publicly. I'm refining so I can put it all into crypto.
Do it. Put it all on Sheeb.
I'm taking it all. Yeah, some obscure cryptocurrency. I've totally mortgaged my house to go into crypto. So I want to get it.
And you have said that publicly now, so it's on file, it's on record.
I want to get it. I want to get it public. So
reason you put on the cash out refi now, that you had to submit with the bank and get all signed, that now it's on record that like he lied.
Fraud. I'm screwed. I am screwed. I think, Mike, if I were a betting man, this feels a lot like 2018 right now. And I think we're going to see, as we get into the holiday season, I think we're going to see it's going to go
run up.
No, a run down. So remember,
18,
things were crazy. Was it 18 or 19? Things were crazy. And then I think it was 18, right?
So 17
or late 17,
late 17
into early 18
was right when it peaked, and then right into 18 and early 18 is when it
I think
out.
That's where we're headed. Now, I don't think it'll go back as far as it did, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of folks who want to cash out and take profits on this thing. And I don't blame them. It's been a good run, man. If you haven't been in, boy, you have missed. Listen, I got in and did nothing, and I made some money. Like not stupid Lambo money, but still some money.
Yeah,
still some money. I think for those that, again, are savvy, that listen, this is not a retirement plan. I'm not a retirement expert or an investment expert. So, and this is not tax advice, but I think there's some good opportunities for those who kind of just watching, and it's just interesting. Again, it keeps you in the game. I did use CoinTracker.
Yeah, cointracker.io.
You're 100% right. Like, it is, if you're going to do crypto, you got to do CoinTracker. So
agreed. For the tax purposes, if you're going to be on the up and up and make sure everything's done right, I fully agree. I actually just paid ahead of time because they were running a deal. So because of all the transactions I have with mining and everything, it's a little bit expensive. But it's a nice little discount. So I paid ahead. So now I get to see all the details of what my, tax forms are going to look like at the end of the year. And man, talk about just being easy. Like, just easy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, no matter what I paid for that, it was worth the peace of mind knowing I don't have to do anything, don't have to track anything. It knows all my wallets. I just hit the button and it's going to give me the form I need for my tax and say, here, I am. I am compliant, right?
I'll probably pay for it too.
That's the whole point, right? If you don't pay for it, you don't get the, like, I don't know if there's really any benefit besides the tax, right?
For reporting. So for me, for reporting years, for this year, I could probably get away with just filling it in myself on the tax forms and not
okay.
using, because I just didn't have enough transactions.
Yeah. Okay.
Really, had just one sale.
But you were
Right?
mining, right? And so like that's like a
Yeah, that's a whole different
yeah.
discussion.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a whole different discussion. I got to figure that one out. I got to figure the
That's
rule.
a non-live
I
discussion.
got to figure out the yeah. I got to figure out the rules on that, and what that means and how to track it. But I could. I went back to Burst and started looking at like 2019 and 2020 for the mining stuff. And I just started adding together months at a time because I was getting pool earnings out of that thing. And I was getting them daily. And I'm like, okay, I can't track this on a daily basis. I'm going to roll this up to a month. So I'm just going to add it together, and for those purposes, just kind of consider it a monthly transaction. It's just, it's too crazy to try and do it day by day by day, right? Kind of from that standpoint. So I got a little bit of work to do, but
that's the benefit of the cointracker.io is it pulls the exact moment for basis purposes, when that hit, which is nice.
Yeah, well, for most of the mining stuff, of course, that's a zero cost basis. So you're paying for the whole thing. So I have a little work to do in that regard and to get it done. Yeah. So guys, Brian says, speaking of investments, he's now part owner. Congratulations of the Green Bay Packers. You can buy it as the NFL franchise, the Green Bay Packers, I think is the only one you can buy shares in. The city, or not the city, but I don't know, Brian, who technically owns, is it an entity, or is it the city that runs that? I know they like run a lottery or something each year where you can buy into the Packers, whatever. So congratulations on that. I'm not a Packers fan, so I root for the Chiefs every time. Oh yeah, and Jim says zero cost basis. That's just at the pure mining level. I could, tracking all those costs, that's even a bigger nightmare. If you're going to think about electricity and equipment and.
Well, and then the way I'm thinking about that is you get paid out on day. Let's say you get paid half an Ethereum, right, on that day. And then now but you're not selling at that point. Then you go to sell that Ethereum and it's worth a totally different amount. Well, what amount, when that came into my wallet, when I earned it, what was it at?
Yeah.
And that's kind of my point, is that it's keeping track of when that came into the wallet, what it was worth.
So on CoinTracker, if it can't, in some cases, like Burst is in this, where it can't determine the price on that day,
interesting.
It's changed names. So you got to do a little research to go back. You got to go back to some old wallets, some old Explorers, and say, okay, well, what was it? And do some guesses. And it's a little messy. I won't lie. There's days I kind of go, I shouldn't have done this. It's a lot of work. Yeah. It's a lot of work. Brian says they have an executive board. This is the Green Bay Packers. And there's a representative at owners meetings, but there's about 5 million plus shares. I think this was a 6th time in their 100-year history they've sold stock. So, man, Green Bay Packers have been publicly owned nonprofit corporation since August 18th, 1923. See, now okay. Well, I'll end it on this. It's 1923. And some crazy dude comes up to you and goes, dude, you need to buy a share of this football team in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And this football, it's going to be the next big thing. Like, this is right. This is the thing. Trust me on this. You're going to want in. Brian or Jim, do you guys know what the return has been on the? I'm assuming you can sell that stock at some point if you want to or whatever. But I mean, think about that. Like, if in 1943, if someone would have come to you and said that, in 1963, if somebody would have, I mean, the modern NFL as we know it today, probably late 70s, early 80s. Did it really start gaining in popularity? Go back and watch some old NFL films from like the 60s. Dude, it's bad. It's bad. It is bad. They have pictures of Len Dawson smoking a cigarette during the Super Bowl. At halftime, he has a Fanta and a cigarette. At halftime of the Super Bowl. This is Super Bowl II. Len Dawson
Fanta and a cig, and I'll be
smoking
good.
a cig at halftime, right? So this is the thing that keeps me into crypto. Is you kind of, everybody's like, oh yeah, are you kidding me? And it's easy to say, well, yeah, well, Bitcoin, whatever. But you just never know. You just never know on these things. Who would have known the Green Bay Packers would have had 5 million shares sold of that thing? That's stupid. That is just dumb. Guys, thanks for coming out tonight. Good seeing you all. Thanks for the chat, the comments in chat. I guess when you're a shareholder, you get to go to the annual shareholders meeting. I'm sure it's just as much fun as the Berkshire Hathaway one they do here in Omaha every year. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you next Friday. Don't forget, Friday, 8:00. And Mike, have a good weekend. We'll see you guys next week.